What's going on, you guys? Coast here, and I was the day after the bowl game. They won the Alamo Bowl 40-35. It really was just a tale of two halves. I'll be honest, I didn't think they were going to win this game. I know I didn't say it, but I was thinking, oh, they might go into the game like they don't care. I was thinking they might be laid back, kind of like how they did 2 years ago when they saw Baylor. I thought, oh, Kansas State, they're very well coached. Bill Snyder's a great coach. I know what he's done. And I know some of you on here might remember me for making a video poking fun at some Ron Prince videos. No, come on, as a joke, people. But anyways, you emo guys, it was a good game. Except the second half. It was just kind of a microism of this season. We've seen games where UCLA has won, and yeah, wins are all that counts. But there's that times they don't take care of business against teams they shouldn't. And not saying Kansas State's a bad team, but earlier this year, I'm talking about wins against Colorado, Cal. Memphis turned out to be a better team than we all thought, so maybe I should put perspective in there. But Kansas State didn't quit. They almost beat us, and thankfully UCLA escaped. But what I've learned is that the first half, it's like talent alone is almost why we won the first half. Just UCLA is the more talented team. Second half was the better coaching, who made better adjustments, and we saw some breaks. There were some plays that just didn't go their way, and some plays they got laid back. That's on coaching. Bill Snyder had his guys not quitting; they had them fighting, and they almost lost the game. But thankfully, that one play to Paul Perkins, who should be our starting running back next year, should not be a problem. The good news is the young offensive line got snaps, and they got better as the season went along. And this game, they ran the ball down their throats. I thought they did a great job on the ground. Hundley did not have a great game. I thought, oh, he's a running quarterback. Just kind of, there's games he's won with his arm, but he's still a running quarterback to me, and I hope he declares for the NFL. I'm ready to move on from him. I think we need a guy who can pass. I mean, quarterbacks should be able to throw first, run second, not the opposite. So, thank you for your time, Hundley. You brought us wins. I know this season as a whole, it's crazy to think a 10-win season could be disappointing, but when you look at the perspective and you look at how they were close to being 8-4, 7-5, they were. With that being said, they really should have been. It feels deep down they should have been 10-2 or 11-1 this year. The only loss that was really forgiven was Oregon, but yeah, I had this team going 9-3 actually. Believe it or not, the only game I had wrong was Utah and Washington. I thought we would lose to Washington before we played USC. I thought they would get a little hungover and overlooking. So I had us losing to Washington, beating Utah. But I had us losing to Stanford and losing to Oregon. I just thought those two matchups don't work well with us. That's how I saw it. I know the handshake. Everyone's going to talk about that handshake at the end. It's not a story. It's a non-story, guys. I know it looks bad on TV that he quickly handshaked him, but if anyone saw the after celebration, hopefully the cameras did stay rolling, but the media's not talking about it. They had a longer handshake and they talked about it, so there's no bad beef with Snyder and Mora. I know he was caught up in the moment, and it was bad at first, but he redeemed himself. So don't make a non-story, Kansas State fans, about the handshake, because that's not the issue. There was the physicalness at the end, and I think players were just caught up in the moment because of they pulled what Greg Schiano did, try to bull rush the victory formation, which is something you're not usually shouldn't be doing. I know you're down by 5, I get it, but you got to be careful. That was getting a little ugly, and I know the players were caught up in the moment, unfortunately. But Mora shook his hand a little bit longer after the non-handshake, so please be careful, guys. Our coaching staff, I thought Ulbrich, he's getting used to being a defensive coordinator. Mazzoni hopefully can be a little more loose, because that first half was amazing. I saw a lot of running, and it's good that they were able to run the ball, because I always feel the ground is where football is won, and then you pass later. Hopefully Josh Rosen or Jerry Neuheisel, whoever's our quarterback next year, hopefully Hundley declares. I know I'm speaking as if he's already declared, which I'm assuming he is. Hopefully the next quarterback will be good at passing. I want a quarterback that knows how to pass and isn't so inconsistent up in that department. 10 wins. It's a good season. I wouldn't call this the team obviously wanted a successful season of making the Pac-12 title game. I was hoping for a 10-2 season, but 9-3 is where I had them, so there was progress. I know it won't say in the record compared to last year, But it's like they got a little bit better. They still won some games in an ugly style that I didn't want to see, but they got over some humps. They got better as the season rolled along. Just Stanford is a bad matchup, and thankfully they finished better than they should have. I know this bowl game doesn't reflect it, but it's kind of an empty win right now. I mean, 10 wins, that's good. I just feel I feel kind of bad though. We looked kind of like a dirty team and we got laid back in the second half, but it is what it is. It's just a game, and you hope the recruiting and everything goes well next year. I will make a full season recap video when the time comes. Otherwise, though, UCLA gets their 10th win of the season, and I'll take it because I wasn't happy at the end, like a lot of Bruin fans were. See y'all later.